Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of McDuffie Builds. Today, I am going to be working on my mini bike. So, I got a couple things in that I'm going to upgrade today. So, stay tuned. So, for starters, I got this 40-tooth sprocket. It came with some extra pieces for the chain, as well as some bolts. And if you've seen some of my other videos, then you know that I'm missing a bolt on mine, so that's pretty cool. But yep, we got this, and then we got a new muffler. So I've been wanting to upgrade the muffler on the mini bike for forever since I got it, and yeah, today's that day. There we go. So the first step to changing out this rear sprocket is to make sure you get that back tire off. So you'll see me in this clip doing that. I had to make sure I had the right socket to do it. So the next step is, actually I don't even know what these are called, but there's one on each side and they kind of hold that back tire in place. And what I've noticed is, depending on the length of the chain, you can move that up or back. And I've seen in other videos that is a hack. If your chain is getting a little loose, then you can move that bolt a little bit further, or move the nuts up on that bolt a little bit further, a little bit closer, just depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve. I thought about doing that, but I ended up just going ahead, and you'll see it later in the video, taking off some of the links from the chain. Now that I got all of that taken care of, now it's time to get that bolt off and get off that little piece in the back there and get out the rod that's holding that back tire in place. Don't be like me and let your brake caliper just smash to the ground like that. I didn't expect that to happen. Now that the tire's off, it is time to get the old bolts out of there. And like I said, if you've seen in a previous video, I'm missing a bolt. So I only had to take two out, and now it's time to change out this sprocket. Out with the old, in with the new. It came with some new bolts, so I'm just gonna use these. Perfect. It actually came with some nuts too. I'm gonna just use those for extra security on the back, just so the vibration and stuff when I'm driving. So you'll see me hand tightening these at first, because I don't want to put that drill on it and somehow it strips the threads or it messes up the bolt somehow, and then I got a bigger issue on my hands. And then I realized that bolt was a little bit bigger than the previous bolt, so I had to change out the socket. While I was doing this, I really thought this was a good idea to try to get that nut on the bottom of that bolt, but as you can see here in the next clip, it was not worth all of that, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna skip that this time. I tried everything, and it's still, you can see me checking there, it still was just leaving a little bit too much space, more than I was comfortable with, and so I just decided not to use it at all. At least not flush. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about those. Now that the sprocket is on, you'll see me here looking for that piece of the chain where I could disconnect it in order to shorten it.
Without doing
And
that
so I
first.
thought, like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to shorten it. Let's put the tire back on first and see.
Don't forget the spacer.
I say that because one of the first videos that I ever watched about mini bikes, the guy who was recording the video always said, don't forget the spacer. And I feel like if you forget it, you can definitely tear some stuff up. So I'm just putting everything back together on this side. Just wanted to give y'all a different angle. So put the brake caliper back on, as well as that bolt with the two other nuts in there. And you can see me, I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I move it up a little bit, I won't have to shorten that chain. But again, that didn't work out for me so well. And so I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. Now that the tire is back in place and everything is secured, it is time to handle the chain for real this time. My drill has a little magnetic piece there, so that's where I'm putting all of those pieces from the chain to make sure that I don't lose them on the ground or accidentally kick them underneath the truck. I got this chain breaker tool from Amazon for like $7 or $8, and it came in handy. This was my first time ever breaking a chain, but it was super easy.
Yes, sir. I think. There we go.
Once I got the chain to the desired length, then I went ahead and put everything back together, which is super easy. If you are terrified about shortening your chain or changing the chain on a bike, I mean, it's probably one of the simplest things you can do. Of course, I would recommend getting the chain breaker tool, but outside of that, this is a really simple and easy fix for anyone who needs to do that.
The new sprocket all installed. I shortened the chain. Now on to the muffler.
So I just used my wrench to get the bolts, to crack the bolts. But once I did that, I just took everything off by hand, which what I found to be super easy.
I was wondering if there was a gasket on there. There was.
Right here, you see me dry fitting that new muffler before I actually got everything in place. And so I wanted to just test run it first before I committed to it.
All right.
The new muffler did come with a new gasket, so I was sure to replace the old one with the new one.
Came with new bolts and washers.
Here I'm just hand tightening everything before I grab my drill to lock everything in place.
The new muffler is installed. Comes in on one side and then wraps around on this side. I think this is pretty cool. All right, let's see what it sounds like. Oh my gosh. She sounds so mean.
louder, it's crazier. The muffler definitely got me and burned my pants, so I got some tape on the way. Always wear protection. So the first thing I'm gonna do is dry fit it. It's a rough dry fit, but you get the point. Letting it soak. It also came with some ties, so I'll be using this to keep it all together. After letting it soak for about 5 to 10 minutes, I take it out, and I don't even wring out any of the water. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but like I tell y'all all the time on this channel, I'm just trying things out as I go. So you'll see me here taking that wet wrap and going ahead and starting to wrap it around the header or the exhaust pipe for this particular muffler. And so yeah, I'm going to speed it up because I don't want you all to have to sit through a 5-minute portion of me trying to wrap this thing around it. Well, y'all, that's it for today's video. I just had so much fun riding this bike. I think it's louder, it's a little bit funner, and it's crazier. And it's obnoxious. Like, I was looking at my neighbors as I was riding, and there was this older man just looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? And that brought me so much great joy. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, y'all, bye.